Today we're talking about the top 10 benefits of a raw vegan or a fruitarian lifestyle that I've personally experienced since embarking on this journey. And my journey started around 18 months ago. And before you say, oh, that's too short, that's not standing the test of time, I've also interviewed countless long-term thriving raw vegans, and I've observed what they've done and the benefits they've had. And I've also researched this topic for like probably thousands of hours now. So I feel like I've got a little bit of insight into the benefits. I just want to make an important distinction before I dive into what I've personally experienced and the benefits I've experienced. When I refer to a raw vegan or a fruitarian lifestyle, I'm referring to a high fruit, low fat, high carb lifestyle, and just raw fruit and veg eaten in its natural state. And typically people say like 80-10-10, so 80% of your calories coming from carbohydrates. I do apologise about the wind, it's trying to ruin the video, but yeah, and my hair. But yeah, so 80% of your calories coming from carbohydrates, are roughly 10% from protein and 10% from fat. And that's kind of what I've stuck to over the last 18 months, without even realising it for probably the first few months. But yeah, when you eat high fruit, your macros naturally kind of fall into this. So the first benefit relates to why I'm actually walking. It's to do with energy. So energy begets energy. So when we do certain habits and behaviours that give us more energy, we're more likely to do other things that give us energy. So as soon as I changed my diet from standard American kind of, you know, just not a thought in the world, to like vegetarian, I noticed improvements in my energy. And that was years back, probably, I don't know, 10 years, maybe a little bit less. Then I went vegan about 5-6 years ago, probably 5.5 years ago, and I noticed more energy. Then I went alkaline vegan and I noticed more energy. And then I went raw vegan, and that was the most noticeable shift in energy. It was the most profound for me. It was just like an instant energy boost. It just felt like the freeing up of energy, and it makes sense because when you're not putting unrecognizable, slightly acidic food in the body, then obviously it's going to free up the energy pathways. But yeah, energy was kind of off the charts, so much so that like I started going for a couple of walks a day as opposed to one, and like football training, which I was doing once, maybe twice a day, it often wasn't enough. So yeah, it's almost a blessing and a curse. And the second one, as a nice cream van goes past, I don't know if you can hear that, I don't know what it's doing around here on a cloudy day. The second one was also an instant, noticeable, observable change, and it happened the first day I went raw. I had like oranges, mango, apples, a couple of bananas, I think, and I just noticed I wasn't even aware of these undertones of ambient brain fog and lack of mental clarity. Now, I was still, you know, reasonably intelligent. I did well in school. I could articulate myself, but I found my memory was better, my focus was better, recollection, being able to articulate myself more. It just felt like more energy was going to my brain and less obstruction. And it was just a noticeable change, and I welcomed it, obviously. But yeah, it's just, if you're experiencing brain fog or a lack of mental clarity, a lack of an ability to focus, I think have a look at diet. And you don't necessarily have to go fully raw fruitarian, but just have a look at the foods you eat and the effect they have on your brain. And after eating raw vegan fruitarian, you don't get that brain fog feeling. After a big meal of fruit, you still feel just as sharp. Maybe a tiny bit more energy is going to digestion than if you were fasted, but because it's such a light diet, it's amazing for this mental sharpness, mental clarity. And the third benefit is something that I didn't even think was really a thing. I didn't think it was possible, and that was digestion. I thought poo, feces, whatever you want to call it, I thought it was always meant to smell it at least a little bit. Now obviously you don't smell your own feces as bad as someone else's, but since switching to this diet and lifestyle, it's genuinely odourless, it's effortless. As you know, I don't want to go into too many details, but I used to spend quite a long time in the bathroom, on the toilet, on my phone as well. Not a good habit. And then since switching to this lifestyle, genuinely, when I combine my foods well and I'm fully raw and high fruit, it can genuinely take 30 seconds to a minute, and you wipe and there's nothing there. There's no point even really having toilet roll. Obviously, we don't often combine foods optimally, but if you just eat mono meals of fruit, genuinely, I don't want to go into too much detail, even though I have, but yeah, you won't even need to wipe. Digestion's perfect, no bloating, no gas, and yeah, it's just, I didn't realise that's how we're meant to feel. I thought we were meant to maybe take a bit longer. I thought, you know, bloating was just, oh, I'm just bloated as a coincidence. But yeah, especially with vegan foods, a lot of legumes and things like that, just, they used to bloat the hell out of me. But yeah, I talked about that in another video on bloating, which you might find useful. And number 4, another delightful but important topic, and that's body odor. So I never stunk too much because, you know, I didn't have too many toxins in my body, clearly, because I was fairly young, fairly fit, reasonably healthy, like vegan diet for 5 years prior. But I still had a little bit of BO, like I had to wear like a natural deodorant to mask the scent. But since changing, that was one weird benefit. I no longer had BO, like genuinely didn't smell, it was odorless, and also didn't sweat as much, because fruits cool the body when you're not consuming cooked food, which creates heat and acidity within the body. You don't tend to sweat as much, and your sweat doesn't stink. It's not rancid, it's not awful, and yeah, it's just a blessing. So that's one benefit, you save on deodorant. And yeah, you just, as a caveat, as a double-edged sword, got a pet fly, you become way more sensitive to other people's smells and like chemicals in the supermarket or your neighbour's washing on the line. You're more in tune to scents, and yeah, it's a blessing and a curse in this world. If you live with people who maybe eat meat and really stinky foods, you may become more sensitive, but it also helps you because you can pick more ripe fruit because you can smell it. So yeah, you just become a bit cleaner, and it improves your senses, and as a bonus, you don't smell. And as we get the body cleaner internally, our external appearance also improves as a result. And that's something I noticed, oh, nearly dropped the phone. That's something I noticed with my skin. Now, it's by no means perfect, and I occasionally get pimples, especially if I eat like suboptimal foods, but skin, it becomes more hydrated, it becomes more soft, it becomes smoother. Oftentimes you tan easier, not to mention the compounds in fruits and veg, especially raw, that make you have more of a tan, more of a glow, more of an orange hue. So yeah, skin improved, it feels more hydrated, and when you combine foods well, you keep your fat intake low, you'll notice your skin clears up. If you've got acne, it's the perfect diet. But things like salt being, oh, just got a fly in the ear. Salt being sodium chloride, table salt, oil, processed foods with like high fat and sugar, that's gonna flare up your skin. So if you don't want to go full fruitarian, just at least be aware of those foods. Yeah, that's something for you guys who aren't quite on the path yet, and that's perfectly fine. But yeah, just cutting out those foods will also help your skin. And the next one's for my fellow lazy people, probably guys, don't want to stereotype too much, but yeah, we usually don't like messing about in the kitchen. But yeah, it's just prep time. This fly really loves me, which is nice, but it's not because I smell like crap, don't worry. Because this diet doesn't make you smell like crap. But yeah, prep time in the kitchen. Peeling an orange doesn't take long, eating it doesn't take too long. The prep comes with actually buying the produce and having enough in the house and staying stocked up. Don't get me wrong, that may take a little bit more time to shop around, find good quality fruit, but ultimately you save time with a prep. Previously, when I was younger, if I ever cooked a meal, things like that, which is quite rare, very privileged, but it would take ages, you know, half an hour to an hour minimum. You got to wash up the pots and pans, and it's just, part of it didn't resonate with my soul. You could call it laziness or you could call it intuition, but we're not meant to cook food. We're not really meant to chop it up all elaborately. Now, you can make nice smoothies, nice juices, nice smoothie bowls, things like that. You can dehydrate if you like that. I'm not a big fan of that personally. But yeah, ultimately it's easy. Fruit is so easy to eat. Veg, a little bit more difficult, but soft, tender, leafy greens. Hopefully you can't hear that car. Soft, tender, leafy greens, quite easy to eat as well. So yeah, prep time, doesn't take too long. perfect for the lazy guys. If you're working a 9-to-5 job, as long as you're stocked up, it's perfect. You can eat it on the go. It can sometimes be a little bit inconvenient if you've got a lot of fruit, but once you get past the societal pressure and norms and expectations, and you just bring your fruit to work or wherever, yeah, it's a blessing and saves a bit of time, which is handy, especially for you entrepreneurs and busy providers out there. And the 7th thing, número 7 for the Spanish out there, is just the abundance. And if you're a big eater like me, I've always enjoyed my food, always enjoyed eating, this is the perfect lifestyle for you. You can essentially eat as much as you want, stay lean 365 days a year, and it can be enjoyable. If you've got nice fruit you enjoy, it's tasty, ripe, maybe organic, maybe juicy, even better, then yeah, it's really a lifestyle of abundance. And yeah, you can overeat on fruit, but you really have to stuff yourself and bypass your senses. So yeah, you can eat as much as you want, stay lean, stay energized. Your digestion doesn't take too much of a toll. Still, energy has to be used to metabolize food and digest it, but it's way less, and you can eat more often if you prefer that. And yeah, you can even eat later. It's going to be easier on your digestive system. But yeah, it's a lifestyle of abundance. You can eat as much as you want. I still like some sort of fasting window, but it's really not a lifestyle of restriction. And yeah, if you're a big eater and you like nice flavors and colors, it's perfect. And yeah, I love it. And number 8, I'm not sure if you can see this pet fly, but it keeps flying in my ear. I promise I don't smell like crap. It must just really like me. So yeah, number 8 is getting up in the morning, full of energy, full of motivation, and without like things like sleep in the corner of your eyes. You know, that dry, like sleep, crusty stuff like that, even earwax, stuff like that. It's just, it's non-existent basically. And you wake up with an abundance of energy, you feel ready to go, you don't feel groggy, you don't need some cold shower, meditation, morning routine to get going. You're off. And yeah, that's how humans are meant to be. But for the longest time, I thought there was something like normal about that feeling. But yeah, it's just another thing that I uncovered and another lovely benefit. And this fly really loves me, by the way. I don't know if you can see. And the 9th benefit is regarding emotions and emotional control. And I just feel like I've generally been happier, more positive, more calm, experienced more positive emotions as a result of this lifestyle and diet change. So I'm by no means a Zen, Buddha, stoic, perfect individual. I still have my moments. I still get frustrated, occasionally angry, but I just generally feel like this is improved, and I just don't feel as angry and resentful with the world. Now, it's not the case for everyone. I know there's quite a lot of dogmatic, angry fruitarians and raw vegans out there. Do apologise for the wind. But yeah, it's something that's been observable and noticeable in myself. And I just don't really want to hurt people or things. Not that I ever did, but I just don't feel that kind of aggression, which is a blessing and a curse, because if you're doing like real competitive sport, sometimes you need that. And I can still channel it, but I just think you become a bit more peaceful and a bit more loving. And yeah, that's something I've noticed. That links into the final thing, and that's just, I saved it to the end because I know some people aren't too bothered about the ethical side of things, but that's another benefit. You're not harming animals. Same with any kind of vegan diet, but especially for something fruit-based. It's very symbiotic with nature. Eat the fruit, discard the seed, either throw it away or put it out. And yeah, another fruit tree, no animal harmed, not too much effort. Obviously it needs sun, it needs rain, but if you're living in the tropics, which are where humans are born to thrive, then it's almost effortless. And there are issues with crops and things, and like, you know, pests and things like that do attack fruit trees, but it's a lot easier than killing and slaughtering an animal. So it's a handy bonus. I never did the diet or lifestyle changes for the ethical side of things, but it's always a bonus. It's something else it's another benefit. If you're interested in this, don't know what that was. If you're interested in this holistic lifestyle, thriving as a human, being happy, healthy, fit, sexy, lean, then you'll like my free community that I've recently created. I'll leave that top link in the description. But yeah, peace and love. Enjoy your day.